Well, good morning. Max says he doesn't take any credit for the product that we're producing in our station on behalf of communities like Cornwall, but he has to admit, and he won't admit it, but I will. When I first started at CJOH back 21 years ago, I didn't understand often why we had to take our show to communities like Cornwall or to Pembroke or to Brockville and Kingston. Max is very good at actually selling it to us in the newsroom, and he's right when he says that the media typically wants to tell the bad news story. That's for us, many of us, that is news. But Max always said there are more to communities than the things that we think are newsworthy, like the closing of Domtar or up the valley, closing of E.B. Eddy and things like that. I'll never say it quite as well as he does, but what he did is to plant a seed in the newsroom at CTV with young journalists, and I include myself as one of those many, many years ago. So I remember coming to Cornwall many times and doing the show here, actually so far back, I think maybe 18 or 19 years ago, where we brought the big satellite truck, which was very new to us at the time, and we planted it, I think, on the old Pitt Street Mall, is that? I can't remember exactly the location, but it was closed at that time, and we actually pounded out the stories from Cornwall on an old typewriter. It was sat on the ground and I typed out the stories. So that's how long ago that we were here doing the stories. And Max said, tell the people stories. You're going to go down there, and yes, there's going to be economic stories that you must tell. That is news. But also tell us what makes that community unique and what's keeping that community going. So I think that we have tried to do that. And it's no mistake that Graham and I are here today, because Max is telling us subtly that we have a legacy to uphold. His legacy in caring about your community. I remember very clearly when he came back from Cornwall that day about 7 years ago, and he's so revved up. They've got Team Cornwall, they've got these cards, and they're going to pass them out to people. And I remember it. And I thought, now what does that mean to us?
In Toronto. Thanks, Max. It's funny, my son Jack is a huge hockey fan, so he was born in Edmonton, and we lived in Los Angeles for a while, and yeah, when I was in Toronto, we lived there. We basically cheer where we live, so he immediately donned the red and black, and it's been non-negotiable for everybody so far, and which has been great, as I remind my brother all the time how awful it's been. What kind of a team celebrates not making the Stanley Cup Finals? The anniversary of not making. They celebrated 1993 in Toronto, that series against Los Angeles, but they lost. I don't understand that. Anyway, so I've got this new job you may have heard about. I just want to tell you a little story about it. I'm shooting a promotion. You know, where you stand and you've got cameras and everything, you know, promoting who you are and the fact that the news is changing and all this stuff. It's very high tech. A guy walks by, it's in the airport, he says, "Big shoes to fill. Better not screw it up." Anyway, well, it was a nice start.